Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to 2S ACC for another race. It is the 5th round of Season 9 and we are here at a track we haven't been to in a long time. We're here at Brands Hatch, and for you in the commentary box are myself, Timo, and local British person, Mr. George. Hello.
Hello, Timo. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Yeah, welcome to quite a sunny Brands Hatch actually today. As a local British person, I've been here before actually for the GTO Challenge last season. Of course, that series was here literally this weekend. So yeah, hopefully we can produce some action just as good as there.
Yeah, some casual British flexing there, because you got all the fun racetracks around. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I mean the race that we saw in not in British GT, in the GT World Challenge, of course, had one main factor playing into it, and that was that overtaking is really hard, which is going to be the point to probably start off the coverage of this with, because it means that qualifying is extra important. Got 7 minutes to go here, so about half the session down, rest still up, and just getting that grid position is gonna be so vital if you want to have a good race here at Brands Hatch. Just overtaking is really difficult. Running close through some of those corners is pretty tough, and then there's not really dedicated overtaking spots. You just have some straights that are less short than others, I would say, and then the braking zones afterwards aren't too good for overtaking either. It'll be difficult, but I'm sure we will have some drivers who maybe qualify lower than their pace should have them qualify, and then we'll have to see, or they'll have to see how to get creative and how to get some overtakes, and that is really the fun of Brands Hatch, apart from just hot lapping it, which is a blast every time.
Yeah, this track's an absolute roller coaster. Yeah, I mean, as you were just saying to it, it's this qualifying session is going to be really important. Of course, we saw people like Nico and Sam kind of suffering qualifying two races ago back at Hungary, and that really cost them. So they are, I mean, they're both looking good right now, but they're going to want to keep that momentum up, because this track is amazing top lap and an absolute, great track, but it's not the easiest to overtake.
Yeah, absolutely. As you point out, Sam and Nico probably both still traumatized from that Hungary race, which has very different characteristic when it comes to overtaking, and so they won't want a repeat of that. I mean, they're building the foundation of that right now by topping the session on a 23.3 for Veldman and a 23.6 for Chumley, so they are in good position. I'm gonna have a little look at the championship in the meantime to put everything into perspective, because both of them could theoretically be players in the championship, but they've fallen off a little bit. So Veld won the first race, and since then he hasn't managed to get onto the podium again. He's finished 6th, and then 4th and 10th. And then he's got that win from Kalami, so if he can, get himself onto the podium, maybe even the top step, that would be absolutely great for him, as he's currently second in the standings with 30 points of a disadvantage, and then 4.5 points behind him, we've got Sam, who started off really strong, getting 2 second places back-to-back, and then just had, the Hungary race we just talked about, and then Bathurst didn't go his way either, so he has a lot to claw back, and that is on this man here, P5 currently, Ruben van den Herding. He's leading the championship by 30 points, so he's sitting comfortably, but he needs to keep up the form, and we'll probably hope that he can get a little further up than 5th.
Yeah, I mean, here's hoping that we don't get the same kind of crashes that we did last time at Mount Panorama. Of course, I may have missed that race, but I did see the mayhem that unfolded.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's still a close championship ultimately. Of course, Ruben is ahead, but yeah, nothing's done and dusted. Of course, we're only 5 rounds in. But yeah, this race is set up to be a good one.
Yeah, 3 minutes to go, and still Veld's gap is looking pretty good. But Higgsy, who was sort of the core person in that massive pileup we saw in I'm blanking, Bathurst, is currently sitting 4th, and I think he's up at 10th roughly, so he could improve on this lap time, and just getting that 10th would put him in contention for the front row maybe. So if he finds something, that'd be great. Now Sam is up at 10th as well. I think the Aston Martin goes historically well on this track. Don't mean to brag or anything, but season 1 anyways, that happened. We've also got Varagnolo sitting in 3rd, hasn't gotten a mention yet. He has, I believe, attended the first race and then and got caught up in some controversy and didn't really fancy racing after that. He's here right now, and he's sitting 3rd in the McLaren.
Yeah, I don't remember him last season how much he raced, but it's looking quite good at the top of the standings right now. But speaking of the standings, it's very, very close right now, from about 7th or 8th to more or less P12, P13, where Mills and Oliver are. They're all really, really tight. So that 10th or so that you're talking about that Higgins might have in his pocket, that will really, really play to his advantage.
Yeah, he could get himself out of that. He has DNF'd 3 races and has not attended Hungary, so his season has been, well, 4 non-scoring races and a 7th place at Kalami. And if he can get a 4th place or better maybe here, then that could kickstart his season and finally put him out of the swamps of the lower midfield. Right now he's up 2 tenths coming out of not Druids is turn 2. Oh god. No, I've forgotten all of them. It's been too long since I've driven here. The one thing I know is where the start-finish line is, and I know that the Mercedes we're watching currently is about to cross it, and he does, and it puts him 3rd, but only because Sam has improved in the meantime, which I have not noticed, and he's beaten Veld by 0.003 of a second, so the top 2 really, really close. I mean, if it goes down like that, that could be one of the closest qualifyings we've had for pole here. And Higgsy in the 2nd row of the grid right now. He has started his final run. He's not abandoned. Okay, I thought he might have invalidated there, but the track is relatively lenient on the outside. There is a lot of technically runoff area that just looks like it's grass, but it isn't. There's I don't even know what it is, but you can drive there sometimes.
Yeah, the track limits are a bit more lenient here. Of course, we've had some tracks recently that are nowhere near as forgiving, but yeah, you can extend a bit more here. But yeah, at the top, of course, you touched on that gap between Nico and Sam. Sam, I think, just
sorry to interrupt. Higgsy just absolutely binned it and takes out 2 brake marker boards. So that just made the end of the lap difficult for everyone.
Yeah, that's not going to be helpful for anyone. Oh, and Nico improves.
Yeah, Nico improves. Sam is not able to respond, so I think we might have a Veldman pole here unless someone else comes out of nowhere. Basically, everyone's already done with their session, surprisingly. Now, Jack Colley puts it 5th, and that's what we've got coming. We've got Jakovsky, but he is not up by much. He's up 2 tenths, so he could improve a little bit. Antoine doesn't look like he's going to be able to do much here, so I think we already have our grid basically, barring a surprise.
Yeah, Sam, literally, he missed out on the... Oh yeah, Diakovsky goes 5th there. Yeah, I mean, you see how close the gaps are right now. But yeah, Sam just missed out on getting a final lap, and he messed up into turn 2 on his penultimate lap. And yeah, that cost him. He couldn't quite get round in time. He missed out the line by literally a tenth or 2.
Yep, it's gonna be... Well, it's less of a disaster than Hungary was, because this time he had a really good lap in already, but it wasn't enough for pole. That pole spot is reserved for Nico Veldman, who gets his, I believe, 2nd pole of the season and is looking to get a second race win as well. Then we've got Sam Chumley in second, as we just mentioned. Didn't cross the line in time. Higgins looking to bounce back after the war crimes he committed in Australia last time out. Then Varagnolo as a reserve gets himself P4, looking for a good showing. Then Diakovsky in his new livery that I finally have installed is fifth, ahead of another reserve, Jack Colley, in P6. Then Savickas beats everyone in silver class once more, just begging for that pro class promotion at this point. He's 7th overall and first in class. Ben Lewis P8, and then we've got our championship leader, Ruben van den Harding, in P9. So he has a lot of work to do if he doesn't want to end like Sam did at Hungary. This could be a big dent in his championship challenge if he doesn't manage to get himself up the order from here. Then Martin Müller is P10, out of Bailey Thompson, who scored a pole and a win at Bathurst last time in the sprint. Antoine Olivet in P12 behind him. Then Jack Mills, his teammate, second in class, 13th overall. Paulas Takas is P14, and then we've got that's Owen Turner in P15. He hasn't driven in a while, but he is here nonetheless, out of Ryan Noppen. Then Hubert Jejura. Michael Österholm is 18th. Nobilt is P19, then Niels Krüger, Kennedy Chikeka, without a livery in the R Motorsport Aston Martin, Michael Ranoa, and last on the grid, Andrew Moulton, still not with the new livery, which I swear I tried to install. It didn't work though, apparently. So maybe I have to delete some old files, I don't know. Please don't kill me, Chris. I tried.
Yeah, I mean, quickly on, you touched on Marius earlier. I thought he was pretty quick in practice actually. He was on lower fuel and everyone else wasn't, but he sure got pace, and he's been certainly near the top so far. He's actually higher than his fellow Honda driver Ruben. Of course, he'll be looking to move forwards. Whether that'll be easy or not, we are yet to see. But of course, if he's gonna have a race anything like Sam or Bowman from two races ago, that won't be ideal for him.
Yeah, in silver class it looks like this race is just gonna be a massive momentum builder. Marius has already got a 21.5 point gap to Justin, and Justin is not here today, so he's obviously gonna gain a lot of points on him. And then the next challengers, Krüger and Österholm, are both further down the order. We've got Österholm in P18 overall and Krüger in P20 overall, so they are probably not gonna challenge for this race win unless something miraculous happens, which should give Marius the certainty that he can gain a lot of points tonight.
Yeah, he's kind of streaky ahead right now in silver class. It's a shame not to have Justin on the grid tonight, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're still going to have a great race on our hands, and of course all the silver drivers are once again right together. Of course, that class split kind of doing its job, so that's always good. We've got the 3 Lambos as well, 11th, 12th, 13th. It'll be interesting to see how they do. I think this car is relatively good around here. It's kind of pointy nature really helps around a high track like this.
Wait, I'm confused now. You said you saw... Wait, how does the Varrock livery look for you?
Pretty normal to me.
I thought you said something like... Oh, I thought you said something that was like orange and blue or something, but I probably misunderstood there.
Yeah, she's got some more kind of coloured inserts, I think.
Okay, so there's slight changes in rear bumper. I'm scared of... what did I just do? Oh god. No, I just fell out of it. I keep falling out of the car. It's brilliant. We don't talk about this. It's fine.
Yeah,
I did.
Your favourite livery?
My favourite livery, my favourite team name. Timo, check the rear bumper. I actually don't know what to say about this. I'm probably uneducated or something, but it's okay. We've got a race start about to happen, and that's gonna be a very vital one. And I hope no one loses their heads here. We've got Nico Veldman, who's gonna lead the field into Parakill Bend, also known as Turn 1, if you want to be efficient, ahead of Sam Chumley. And Nico, of course, got the inside line, and because of the nature of this track, everyone tries to gain positions early into the race, and we saw that in the real world race actually on Sunday, where someone ran the entire start-finish straight on the grass and then was surprised by the pit exit being then he caused a massive pile-up. So let's hope we are more professional than the professionals here as we go green in Brands Hatch, and it looks like a really good start from Veld. I don't think there's anything Sam can do about this. Diakowski and Varignolo get a little bit close for comfort here. Diakowski picks up a position. He's now up to 4th. Varignolo drops down the order, actually, because now Giaccoli is sending one around his outside. Ruben has gained a bunch of places. He's just jumped a whole row of the grid. Giaccoli gets squeezed wide. Lors is on the grass for some reason. So I don't really know what's going on there, but it looks like Ruben has had an absolute banger of a start. He's ahead of Giaccoli now, behind Varignolo. Colli gets bumped to the inside by Savitska. Spaley is trying to seize the opportunity. He does so, and he also half spins himself, which is probably not what he intended to do. Drops down the order. Some drivers are on the grass. Please all safely return to the asphalt, please. Thank you.
Yeah, not a bad start for everyone actually. Quite, yeah, relatively clean. Sorry, bit of a mess in the midfield, but yeah, looks like everyone's got through more or less unscathed. But yeah, the front, I mean, Velvin got a really good launch there. He was actually a little bit behind.
Sorry to interrupt there. Ginger just lost a lot of positions because he got he caught some grass on the outside, and he goes off again. Oh no! Oh, he comes back on track, and that's not good at all. I think he gave Krüger a big hit, or Renault, one of the two DRS cars for sure.
Yeah, I thought the real life pile up starting already.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, what I was saying earlier. Yeah, Sam actually started a little bit ahead of Velvin. Not quite sure how he managed that. But yeah, Velvin getting that really good launch. Of course, he had the inside line, and yeah, kind of all in his hands.
Yeah, and the inside for Parakill is also the inside for Druids. So no funny things that Sam could try. Can't even hang around the outside in turn 1 and then get the inside for turn 2 because it's a right hand as well. Was very much skewed in Velvin's favor, and he did use that to his advantage. He seems to be going quite well at British GT tracks, I feel like, because he has he's won 2 races at Donington. He has, well, he was fast at Snetterton and in a doubleheader and crashed both times, but he was fast, and now he gets a pole position at Brands Hatch. But the question is, can he also remain consistent for an hour? That was the problem at Snetterton, and the British GT tracks are generally just really unforgiving. Except, I mean, I guess Silverstone is one of them as well. That's pretty forgiving. But all of the other ones, you touch the grass on the outside, you just go straight to the wall. Or at least very deep into the runoff. And that is an unforgivable mistake. Now, Ryan Noppen has also made a mistake. He has gone off and drops all the way down to P22.
Yeah, I will happily pretend that I wasn't involved in a single one of those crashes for Velvin. Like Snetterton when we last visited there.
Oh.
But yeah, he's first race I may have had some slight involvement there. But anyway,
I missed the commentary for that, so I actually don't know. I just know that he was frustrated.
Yeah, I may have helped him on his way to the wall first time around. But anyway, yeah.
Wait, how do you hit the wall at Snetterton?
Well, yeah, there is that, of course. It's a lot more forgiving than here, that's for sure. Yeah, you know, he's a master of these tracks. He's proven himself, especially at Donington, multiple times. And yeah, he's looking right at the front right now. He pulled away from Sam a little in that last lap. But he has to be careful of the track, I guess. You know, we saw the Honda earlier dipping its wheels in the grass and taking a trip back across the road. That's of course something you need to be careful with, especially if you go with the wheel.
Yeah, it is a track that lashes out at you, and I found out personally that Brands Hatch is, I believe, one of the most, or one of the biggest, how do you say, like, it's a confidence track is what I'm getting at.
Yep.
I feel like you just lose so much lap time, even if you have the right idea of how to drive. If you're not on it, if you don't really feel it, then you just can't put it into practice. It has a certain flow to it, and if you're out of that for some reason, then that's absolutely terrible. So you know, and one mistake can be more than one mistake. Like that just spirals into more and more, and then you start driving. You start entering corners from the middle of the track only 2/3 instead of using the full width because they're scared of touching the grass, and then you know, you just lose even more time. And now Ruben just had enough, and it is trying to tell us that overtaking at Brands Hatch is apparently not a problem if you just find the right moments, and he just certainly did, because he sent one in Varignolo and he gets ahead very well there. Really good from him, and now heads through the dip in the road here into P5. So good recovery from him already, 4 places up from qualifying.
Yeah, this is exactly what he'll be wanting to do. You know, he's been very, very efficient already. And as you can see with the top, with second, third and fourth, all absolutely nose to tail, he will be looking to get back up those, and then he's up into the podium places.
Veltman actually checking out a little bit there. Sam is down 1 second on his delta from the lap before, so potentially some mistakes there. Now Djakovski certainly got a run on Higgins. The question is, can he find some overlap on the inside? Doesn't look like it. He tries the outside. Not gonna happen either. I think he needed to commit to the inside there, but it's tough to say. Maybe into Druids with an absolute almighty send. Collie covers the inside, so that's not happening either. Needs to go the long way, and that attack has well, it's gone wrong. He has not been able to get up to third, and I think that's sort of what we are in for here. Driver fights usually go the distance. They take very long, but if you pull off an overtake, or if you see an overtake like the one Ruben just pulled off, it is extra special here at Brands Hatch. I kind of wrote him off after that qualifying, but now he has unleashed himself into P5. He's got some clear air, and who says he won't be able to catch those guys up ahead?
Yeah, I mean, Ruben showing a perfect example of how you do overtake around here. And then Higgins, you know, giving a nice showcase of how you are meant to defend. You know, it's very... If you are on your toes with hugging the inside line from the car behind, then, you know, you'll leave yourself in a pretty good position. Of course, you know, Djakovski not finding a way through on that occasion, but they're still nice and close together.
In silver class, I don't know if Owen actually counts as silver class. I think he should be a reserve. So I think Mills is still second in class, and in an attempt to absolutely jinx him, we've got Mills actually sitting comfortably second in class right now, and then it is a gap down to Österholm and Krüger, who are of course P3 and 4 in the championship, as well as Owen succumbs to, well, not commentator's curse, but me watching him, and he does a sick drift, which certainly costs some time. He was actually at the track yesterday, I believe, and that probably inspired him to just drive it. But I don't know if it was practiced, because that turn 1 is certainly not how you want to take it.
Yeah, not an easy corner. Very easy to do that. He wasn't looking bad in that McLaren before then, but yeah, set him back a bit.
Let's try
elsewhere.
Go on.
Sorry. No, I was going to say elsewhere, a little bit ahead of the fight that I guess Turner just kind of fell out of. Olive, Lors, and Muller are all quite close together. All up a bit of grass here and there, but I imagine that's the fight that will boil over soon now.
Yep, they are not in overtaking range yet, and also Marius. I guess you could consider Marius part of the battle group. Yeah, they had a weird start. I just know that Ben drove the straight between turn 2 and 3, basically half on the grass on that one. And oh, we've got someone off, and it is Chikeka. We're going for a replay there to find out what happens. Let's see. That is the middle of the track, basically in the forest. Goes through the dip, and yeah, that is what happens. He has a little bit too much speed, catches some grass, and just goes straight into the wall. That attempt at saving it didn't really like that seemed half-assed, to be honest. So he probably just accepted that he can't drive the track as much as he wants to, and he's retired. So we're down to 21 now.
Yeah, another one biting the dust, because this track really, it kind of feeds you out into the track limits, but it's not forgiving. There's not curves everywhere, there's not Astro every opportunity. So yeah, it's just dip the wheel, look at the tires, and yeah, there's nothing you can really do from there.
Yeah, and that is exactly what I meant earlier when I talked about it being a confidence track. That is the thing you are scared of, and that makes you just drive slow because you don't carry too much speed. You don't enter the corner on the outside, and you can't have that happen. You need to be able to just consistently not make the mistake for an hour straight, and that is very much easier said than done, as Kennedy has unfortunately put on display for us.
Yeah, of course. This track really does, or as a driver, you really excel if you are going to be absolutely throwing the car in. And of course, car choice-wise, that can have an effect. Yeah, I would think the Aston Martin is a safer option, but yeah, as you say, there's a lot down to confidence here, and if you're not quite in the rhythm, then it's really, really easy to go wrong.
Yeah, I actually don't know about car balance. I just remember the McLaren being absolutely shocking here, I think 2 years back. Do you happen to know if that has changed? Because they seem to be going solidly well. We've got them P6 and 7. I just remember it being undrivable back then.
Yeah, I mean, it's still got the 20 kgs of BOP on board,
Oh,
so
true.
it's holding its own considering that. But yeah, I mean, it's quite difficult to tell right now. We've got a good split. Plus the top 6 all in different cars. So yeah, I'm not honestly convinced. I would say that I quite like the Aston Martin where it can really help you with that confidence. It might be beneficial, but then of course we've got an Audi leading, and that's kind of the opposite. Oh, sorry, Nikolsky nearly just lost it on the exit. That is one of the more safe cars, the Lexus, but he just tagged the grass in the last corner and very, very, very nearly went around.
Yep, I mean, certainly there is different ways to go fast at Brands Hatch. Nico doing it with the mid or rear engine car in the Audi, and Sam following him in the very front heavy Aston Martin, but he's followed by another front engine car, the Mercedes of Higgsy. He's really close now, is Higgsy, and that's going to be great for Veltman, of course, because if Sam has to check his rearview mirror, that might cost him some time and give Nico breathing room. Right now, Nico is the driver with the fastest lap of the race. You can see it, of course, on the HUD. With the purple number 1, so he has driven the fastest lap at 24.1. And now they're all lapping a few tenths slower than that, but it seems like Sam is struggling a good bit with the pressure from behind.
Meanwhile, Maris has had a bit of an issue. He collided with Antoine. He already lost a few places, and he's now down to 12th, so silver class leader plummeting.
That is of course terrible for him, but he's still leading class, to be honest. He's ahead of Mills, then Osterholm. Owen, I guess, doesn't count, and then we've got Krüger, so that's also where Owen came out again, then between Osterholm and Krüger, because he was ahead of Mills before his little spin happened, and now oh no, Mills! How? We're watching the replay. How has that happened? How do you? Why do you? He just drives the wrong way. Mills, no! That is terrible. Oh god, no! And Owen T-bones him, and I don't even know. I can't even do proper commentary on that. I can just shout no over and over again, and it probably perfectly describes everyone's emotions, and mine as well, of course. And I think Mills is as well. He's just driving into the wall repeatedly. I don't know if that's steering damage or if he just hates himself.
Yeah, very Brands Hatch kind of worthy accident there.
Mills, what are you doing? I can't tell if he's Wait, something happened to Higgsy. Too much silliness, not enough serious racing, as now the leaders come past, and yeah, there has been a change for position as Diakovsky has gotten past Gareth. Maybe you could dig in the replay and tell us what happened, because I certainly didn't notice. That would be great. You could find out.
Yeah, just a quick look. Yeah, I think Higgins made a little mistake coming out of turn 4. Yeah, he got a bit wide, and that just allowed Diakovsky a better run. And he kind of, you know, a lot of confidence there to go around the outside of turn 5, I believe. It's the first fast right-hander. So yeah, nicely done from him. But yeah, you've got to capitalise on those mistakes, which he's done so nicely.
Yeah, and it's all falling apart for the leaders of Silver Class. Mills just killed himself by not lifting on the grass, and Marius has had that incident, and he's coming into the pits really early, 45 minutes still to go in this race, certainly not conventional pit window yet, and he pulls in, so he probably has some damage he wants fixed, or at least he's messed up his tires by whatever happened so bad that he wants new ones. In any case, that could actually open the window of opportunity for someone like Österholm or Krüger maybe to take control of the Silver Class race now that Mills is out of the way and Marius looks like he's struggling.
Looks like Marius has got a fair bit of damage. Yeah, I mean, it's all kind of falling apart for Silver Class in the last lap or so. But yeah, that leaves Osterholm and Krüger in a nice place, as you said. But yeah, train that is still intact. We've still got from Collie, one of the 3 reserves that started this race, down to, I believe, Loss. They're all not too far apart.
Yeah, little mistake out of Aragnolo there. That's just what happens here if you take a little bit too much speed. Touches some gravel out of turn 1, and yeah, it's also a frustrating thing. Well, it's always nice seeing the guy ahead making mistakes, but it can also be frustrating, like if you're Müller here, you see every single thing wrong in Varagnolo's driving. You see every corner that he doesn't max out, you see every time he has to lift past the apex to make the corner, stuff like that, but it doesn't mean you can get past, because there are, overtaking spots are just very sparse. You honestly really need mistakes of others to make it happen, and seeing a mistake and then not being able to capitalize just feels terrible. And I feel like Müller is experiencing exactly that.
It does get quite frustrating around tracks like this, but that's when you've got to be careful, when you are frustrated or getting impatient. That's when you need to kind of reset yourself as much as you can, because tracks like this is where it's so easy to go wrong. If you get a bit kind of desperate, make a lunge a bit too late that you shouldn't have made, it's that's where it all comes tumbling down. Yeah,
and that's also another thing. I think you just have to be really assertive in wheel-to-wheel racing here, which is, obviously not my strong suit, but oh wait, do we have an overtake here? It's Ben Lewis and Antoine Oliver. No, Antoine pulls out, and the thing is that Ben knows the outside line is not beneficial for Antoine, so if he just defends early enough, they both lose some time, but he keeps track position. And there is tracks and cars where conceding a place on track can be beneficial to you if the guy behind you is faster, and GT3s at Brands Hatch are certainly none of those combinations. You can hold track positions for an eternity. Probably pit stop window is going to be the most dangerous thing. Now Antoine really deep into the slipstream, Ben again on the inside line, and this is not a corner where you can send dives either, so this is not happening.
A word from Antoine there as well, as he backs out. That won't help his cause.
Oh, Ryan has bottled it. Ryan Loppen, sorry to interrupt, but I'm going to watch the replay of that. Go on.
And I was just going to say how easy it is to do what Antoine just did there. Stuck at the slipstream, can't really go anywhere. So he's going to have to restart and go again.
Yeah, it seems like there's a common theme of drivers not being, not really reacting correctly when on the grass, as we watch the replay of Ryan sending it way too fast into turn 3 and then spinning across the track, because he probably gave it too much throttle on the grass on the outside there. So that's what happened. And, I mean, something similar happened to Mills as well. But it is tough to say on Brands Hatch because I feel like if you lift every time you hit the grass, you're just gonna be slow. Everyone like hits the grass sometimes. Just watching those drivers, it's pretty evident. Someone has always got like half a wheel on it at any time, but if you get it completely wrong, you get punished.
Yeah, I think the grass it gives you a lot of false confidence actually. You know, slow area is kind of slippy as other titles like iRacing, for example. But yeah, it's quite a few drives out today, and it's you know meant to be out there, so you know you can get away with it a little bit, but too much and you'll be straight in the wall.
Does driving on the grass actually like noticeably negatively impact your pressures?
If you do it enough, yes. Yeah, so this is a track where it's very easy because you've of course got relative...
Easy in terms of it happens a lot, or easy in terms of...
No, easy in terms of it happens a lot. Okay. Got relatively high curves and lots of grass, but yeah, Sam into the pits, maybe changing tyres to fix that kind of problem.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly covering an undercut. If he gets undercut here, then he just loses track position, and he can't have that happen. While with this, maybe if he gains a lot of time, Veldman doesn't pull the trigger immediately, then maybe Sam can get himself ahead of Veld, and even if he doesn't have the pace, track position could still suffice. So I think this is a very sensible decision from him, just shooting his shot. I don't think he has much to lose, and that's why he pits right now. The question is now, how do the others respond? Do Diakowski and Higgins go for the overcut? Does Veldman try to cover it, or does he take the risk and want the better tires later? We'll be able. Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, apart from the start, this is probably the most important phase of the race, because yeah, as we've been saying quite a few times, the track position is what really matters here. It's not easy to overtake, so how you respond to the strategy is going to be really, really vital. So let's see if Veldman dives into the pits. He of course had a decent gap actually back to Sam, but it's more between Nikowski, Higgins and Sam that I'm interested in.
And after the pit stop, Antoine is ahead of Varaniolo. I don't think that was the same before, so either Varaniolo screwed up on the pits, or Antoine had a really good one. And that is actually bad news, because Sam is now stuck behind Varrock here. He's aggressively flashing, but Moulton does not have to give way at all. And I mean, it's a tough track for overtaking. It's also a tough track if you meet a back marker, and I think this has just gone completely wrong for Sam. He needs to make this work quick. He needs to somehow get past, or hope that the others don't or pull the trigger right away, because if he stays out, or if they stay out long enough, and he is stuck behind a back marker here, then he could be in serious trouble, as he now doesn't send one. He was thinking about it, and it makes sense. You couldn't see he's desperate just by watching the movements of his car as Malta defend. He goes to the inside line, so he's not keen on giving this position up lightly. With the acceleration, oh, Moulton's got it all wrong, and I think that is the move for Sam. So he's lost some time, but he's gonna be okay now. The exit of the McLaren was bad enough that the Aston Martin goes through, and in the meantime, Veldman, Diakowski, Higgins, all of them, and also Ruben, all of them stay out one more lap. So, I mean, that's been a little bit of a dampener to his undercut, but it's fine. He got past on the first lap, so maybe this is still doable for him. But now Veldman's splitting.
Yeah, it was only a lap. Oh yeah, Ruben following him in as well. Yeah, I mean it was only a lap, but that's going to cost him a lot of time. Of course, that is the risky run with an undercut, and we saw it back at Hungary actually with him. I believe it was him and Moulton as well. But yeah, clean track for Veldman and Ruben, I'd imagine, when they come out of the pits. So yeah, let's see how that plays out.
Yeah, I think if Moulton is gonna update the rear bumper on his car, he should probably just write something like "I'm sorry, Sam" or something on there, because it just keeps happening. Maybe that will be some consolation to Sam as he watches his chance of a race win slip away after undercutting himself behind Varrock every single time. I don't know. We'll see. But,
here comes Sam down the main straight, and yeah, Veldman is out relatively comfortably ahead actually. I saw he was losing some time to Higgins and Diakowski before the stop, but that gap has extended quite a lot.
Yep. We also see Ruben out, and it is really unfortunate because this just goes to show that with the pace that's being driven here, just one lap later for Sam, the others would probably still have taken their dear time, and Sam would have come out ahead of Moulton, but well, it didn't unfold like that. I don't think it is feasible for drivers to do the maths on where they're gonna come out mid-race or like look at the track by trying to estimate. I think it's like too tough, especially if it's gonna be close margin. So I can't really fault him for that. But if it's a consistent thing, maybe he needs to evaluate if he can do something about it.
These drivers are running solo. They've got no engineers on the line with them. So yeah, that stuff just happens. It's just unlucky. But speaking of, Veldman is now catching some traffic too.
Yep. The only good thing about this traffic is, of course, that the others will meet it as well. But the problem is, if Sam actually manages to catch up to Veld because of this traffic, and then there might be a situation where both of them get passed on the same move because Veld puts him offline, and then Sam. Oh, Sam so close on the pit exit, by the way, to Diakowski, who was pitted in the meantime. So I actually wonder where Higgins is gonna come out, because Diakowski just about failed it, and there is an overtake for the position as, yeah, he swings it round. Nicely done from Veld. Very cool and controlled. And the question is now, how fast is Renault going to give way to Sam? He does not really. Sam does go for the inside, and he has certainly gained time on this lap because he got past way faster than Veld. So two very fast good moves. Not a lot of time loss going on there. Diakowski is the next who needs to get past Renault, and Renault might even have to think about, ducking out of the way to lose less time, maybe going for an early pit stop.
Yeah, big old central Sam there. Yeah, through goes Diakowski, just sliding back under. But yeah, that's what Sam really needed to do, actually. Of course, Veldman did make a good move, but he still did lose time. And that really helped Sam, especially with such a nice move. But interesting, what I've noticed is that Diakowski's got some rear damage. It's not much, but I wonder if something happened between him and Higgins. So I'm going to go look quickly and see what happened.
Yep, the car does look very scratched there. The beautiful livery getting a little bit, looking a little bit worse for wear. Higgins still out on track, but I think now at this point he's probably just losing time. Although he's of course avoiding all of the traffic nonsense that the others have to put up with. Higgins actually in a brilliantly clear track here in first overall, and well, probably a Ned P3 or 4.
Yeah, so I was just seeing what Diakowski did. He actually hit the wall on the way into the pit lane. It's quite a tight little pit lane. He just overshot. So yeah, he took a whack to the front as well. I'm not sure how much that will realistically affect him, but it's not going to be helpful.
Yeah, and this moment with Rhino could actually be a big deal for Veld, because he's been, I don't think he's been coasting, but he's been relatively clear, 2 seconds ahead of the other boys while they were really close to each other. So he certainly had a calmer race. The others were the ones who were all up in arms fighting, and so that might have just changed a little bit. Chumley has gotten rid of Diakowski now with his quick move on Renault, and also I guess just abusing the fact that Alexander's tires weren't up to temps yet, so he has cleared him and has his eyes set on our provisional race leader, Nico Veldman now. It changes the dynamics. One mistake from Veldman and Sam's going to be right there, but for now he's still driving faster as well, so Sam needs to go all out right now to put the pressure on and force a mistake out of Nico if he wants to win this race.
Just look at the lap times actually, and Higgins lost around a second last lap, and yeah, he's lost about 8/10 to Veldman again this lap. So it's not necessarily the best strategy that he's on right now, but I think if he fully commits, he could even go another 5 or 10 minutes. It may start to come to him as the race comes to a close. But yeah, look at it right now. I don't think he's going to be jumping either of the net top 3.
Yeah, maybe even the opposite. I mean, he was really close to Diakowski beforehand, and now 2 seconds behind Diakowski is Ruben van den Herding. So if Higsy is losing a second a lap, and he keeps doing that for multiple laps, that could mean that Ruben just is able to jump him there, and that would be great for the championship leader, as his 2 closest rivals are out in front. Fighting for P1 and 2 amongst themselves. So if Ruben can get P4 here, that is absolutely great damage limitation from starting in P9 at Brands Hatch, and it'd be good for him, but bad for Higgins, who looks to redeem himself after last week. I wonder when he comes to the pits, he looks like he's being he is being outshone right now on lap times, just because he has very old tires at this point. And he goes in.
Lap, by the way, from Veldman just prior did a 23.7 last time around compared to Sam's 24.3. So he's extending his lead. He's getting away very nicely, but Diakowski's damage doesn't seem to be affecting him too much, as he lapped about the same as Sam.
And now Ruben has to be on the hunt, because he could gain himself a place here. Doesn't really come down to the end of this lap, but still gonna watch on board a little bit to see how he navigates the circuit.
He's looking good in that Audi today. It's been a quick car so far, and he's using the tools he's got at his disposal very nicely. As yeah, Higgins still in the pits as the top 3 car passed. Yeah, through goes Ruben as well, actually.
Yep.
So yeah, Ruben jumping up very nicely.
Yeah, he's got him, and Higsy looks like he's outplayed himself on the strategy a little bit. And yep, nicely done. It looks like he's having some internet issues, by the way. I hope that doesn't persist, and I hope nothing bad happens on that, and I don't wanna be forced to play the Harry Potter ear rape theme. This car does look a little bit iffy. And maybe it's actually on my end, because I think I've got a thunderstorm outside, or I'm going insane, because I swear I see flashes of lightning outside of my window. But so that could of course negatively impact me.
I think that's his end. Yeah, I was worried that I had the same issues.
Okay.
Also, sorry, very quickly, Sam is closing back in on Velvin because they've just had to deal with the Aston Martin of Newell, who is having quite a bit stuff.
Yeah, that was painful to watch, and now he's gonna have to hope that there's a similar mistake like the one out of Moulton, and there actually is. Noble's really deep, and does get overtaken here, so the mistakes are exploitable. He had been close to Veld, but now in total he's certainly lost more time than the Dutchman out in front. And this starts a hunt into the second half of this race. He really has to put the hammer down and use his pace, but he is outmatched on tires as well, because he was the first to pull the trigger on the pit stop. It's all really in Veldman's hands. He's got track position, he's got better tires. He has been looking more comfortable throughout this, but the problem with Brands Hatch is one lapse of concentration, and all of that can be gone within, a blink of an eye. That's
yeah, of course, it is not easy to keep the car on the road here. But yeah, everyone's looking relatively clean at the minute. I saw Ruben having a little sideways moment earlier. He's not dropped behind, so he's still not looking too bad at all. But yeah, of course, we've got Higgins not too far ahead of him, or sorry, behind him. So it depends how much that tie delta. Oh, sorry, just as I'm saying that, Veldman's Van den Herding's gone off the track again, just making a slight mistake in the middle sector, which will play into Higgins' hands quite nicely. Who, of course, on those fresh tyres, hopefully will be looking to catch our championship leader.
Yeah, no build has been taken care of by Diakowski now, and I don't think there was much of a time loss. And Ruben, while he made that little mistake, Still probably gotten closer, but now he has to deal with the Aston Martin, unless the Aston Martin pits right now. In silver class, by the way, it looks like, I mean, we haven't talked about Marius in a while because he has pitted 15 minutes into this race, 20 minutes ago, and he's in a net third position here, with Österholm actually leading the charge. So, wait, who was leading? Wait. No, actually, it's all in order. We had Marius and Mills, and then both of them had incidents. And after that has been cleared, Marius is now in third. So that's the status of silver class, looking like a pretty good one for Österholm. But now he's stuck behind Moulton, who is yet to pit, and then Kruger is 4.6 seconds off the back of his fellow Aston Martin in P15. So. That's the status, and here we've got Ruben actually cutting to the action, trying to... Oh no, Ruben! Ruben is off, and he loses the position to Higgsy for sure. Maybe even Collie. Collie is coming up to him right now. He tried to take the outside around Nobilt, but I mean, Nobilt doesn't have to let him pass. He's on the same lap. He just hasn't pitted yet, and Ruben gets it all wrong. Actually, I'm gonna watch the replay on board because I want to see what happened there.
Yeah, actually riding on board with him at the time.
Oh god, he tried to find space on the outside, compromise the run of Nobilt, and then just got onto the grass, and in a bumpy section as well, completely unsettled the car, and that Honda. Well, the Honda made an overtake, but unfortunately it wasn't against the Aston Martin. It was the rears overtaking the fronts.
Yeah, not ideal, that's for sure for the Dutchman. But yeah, he did well actually to get that out of the wall there. Of course, his car will be pretty much unscathed from that bit of damage to the ego, but I'm sure it was good. He'll be back on his way up to the back of Higgins.
Yeah, still pretty vital mistake, and now Higgins, you know, next step in securing P4. Contrary to Ruben, he is able to safely navigate past Nobilt. I mean, the thing is, if there's a sufficient pace difference, there is corners that can be used as overtaking spots, like, I mean, mainly turn 1 and I can't count, turn 5. The one he has just done that in, and now Nobilt realizes he has to pit, so he gets out of the way for the rest of the drivers. 23 minutes to go in his race, and then he'll try and contest for silver class. But yeah, Higgins has done that nice. The thing is, if the guy ahead knows how to get a clean exit, then it doesn't matter if your exit is, you know, half a tenth better on a hot lap. You know, half a tenth out of a corner is massive, especially if you can string it together over a lap. But, you know, in traffic, you're just capped by what the car ahead does, and if you don't get the move, it doesn't matter. And getting half a tenth is not going to bring you past the car length. And that's usually why it runs hatch. So super difficult to overtake. You need to be so much faster out of the corners, and then not make mistakes. And now Collie is the next one who is going to struggle with making an overtake. He's right on the back of Ruben, who potentially might have ruined his tires by what we've seen him doing. I think the corner's called Sheen. I think. I don't know.
Not too strong corner names either, but yeah, he's not managed to kind of spring away like I was expecting him to. Collie, one of the reserve drivers today on the grid, who has actually been quite active this season. He's been looking very fast in that McLaren. Of course, he will be looking to find some way past the Honda ahead of him. But yeah, there's quite a few little duos actually that are close to each other, but nothing's really going. Of course, you've got Lawes and Muller for P7, and then you've got Oliver and Thompson for P10. They are the two kind of standout battles right now.
Yeah, before anyone is gonna nerd out on me, by the way, it is not. The corner isn't Sheen. Sheen is the one before. It's called Sterling. So I just looked it up. So you know, I'm real rusty on my Brands Hatch knowledge. I used to know all the corner names, which isn't hard because the track has like 9 turns. But yeah, now we're all updated, because I know if I hadn't said that, I would have gotten like 3 pings by like Welsh Toast or Pixel or someone telling me you're actually wrong.
Yeah, speaking of battles as well.
Well, yeah, Jura is just not having too much fun right now, is he? He has been running in a solid position, but now he's facing the wrong way. And it looks like I mean, he's having a pretty defeatist body language on his car there, and he does go to the pit lane. And he takes out a brake marker in the process.
Yeah, another victim of, I believe that is the stream curve, if I understood correctly.
Yeah, it's the third to last.
Yes. But the fight that is actually now kind of falling over between Thompson and Oliver. They had side by side into turn 1 and 2 last lap. Thompson having another look in the middle sector, but yeah, these two are, I think, due to go wheel to wheel again.
I am actually getting thunderstormed, by the way. I don't know if that actually negatively impacts internet. I'm a boomer about that. But I remember the internet like not liking thunderstorms in the past. I think maybe it's just because of Wi-Fi and I'm not using Wi-Fi. I don't know. Maybe someone knows that, can watch back and call me a 60-year-old boomer. But I'd appreciate it. Stop.
Also having it go on Oliver. He's down the inside into turn 2. Oliver made a little mistake, and yeah, 3 goes. Very nice little decisive move, of course, making the most of the mistakes, which is what you need to do.
Because I'm a bad cameraman, I'm just gonna compensate for that by showing the replay of it on board with Bailey, as it happens, because I missed it live. So, yep. Yeah, as you say, the mistake on the outside, I think Antoine had to lift there because he would have run into the gravel, and just lifting there takes the momentum out of your run, and Bailey had the opportunity to keep it pinned. Gets up to P10, so it doesn't look like a good race for Antoine, actually. He was way better the last few times out, and now finds himself in 11. Not going to be happy with that, but Brands Hatch is one kind of a track. Like, being bad at Brands Hatch, or having one bad race at Brands Hatch, does definitely not define your driving skill. It's very special. And
here goes Collie on Van den Hudding, up the inside to turn 2. Very, very close.
Yeah,
still side by side.
And the next one is going to be the inside for Rubens. I think he might actually get away with that, but Collie seems to have the overspeed. Doesn't matter though. The inside line is what brings success. And yeah, another good spot there on that battle. So and that's always the difficulty with Brands Hatch. I keep complaining about this, but I don't know if complaining is the right word, but you know, there's so many drivers that are just really close together, and as soon as one of them makes a mistake, the other one can get the overtake, and you can't watch all of them at the same time. So you just need to be, you need to have your eyes everywhere, and in this case, you are the eyes, and you seem to be everywhere, so that's good.
Yeah. No, it was a lovely, actually, overtake. Collie taking to the grass, actually, going 2 wheels off the track, but yeah, absolutely inch perfect. Can't get any better than that, but yeah, couldn't make it stick, but let's see if he has another
go. Quick update on Norbert, by the way. Of course, we saw him. We saw him fighting with the race leaders. He seems to actually drive a pretty safe race, which is nice to see. I don't think he attends many races, but he is 4th in class right now. If we consider him a silver class driver, I don't know if he's a reserve or silver, but. He is doing reasonably well. The pace doesn't seem to be quite there, but just driving a safe race will get you somewhere, and so many silver drivers have retired so far, and oh my god, I've jinxed him completely. Well, he's gone off track, but at least he didn't mills it, so he lifted off after going off, and didn't crash there. That was good commentator's curse. But I just want to, give a positive shout out to keeping your nose clean on a track like Brands Hatch, knowing that as long as you don't die, you can still get a good result. Other people are going to retire, so he seems to be doing that, and that's good to see. And oh my god, I've missed the fight again. My god. Next time, interrupt me. But yeah, Jack and Ruben are still going at it, actually. I'm just not going to look at anyone else for a while now, because they aren't done with each other, and Jack seems to always find those opportunities to get alongside Ruben, and Ruben always seems to find the opportunities to get the edge in the fight.
Yeah, Collie's fast. He's really got that McLaren hooked up nicely today. But yeah, Ruben is a tough customer. He's not easy to get past at all. Of course, he showed that lovely bit of defending just a couple of laps ago. So yeah, it's not really easy to get past Collie, and of course, Ruben's got the championship agenda to deal with as well. So as much as he'll want to keep it clean, he's also, you know, every point counts. So.
In case anyone was wondering what I'm doing with the camera, I just wanted to read what it says on Collie's car. So, I mean, 15 minutes on the clock. We've seen them run side by side twice in the past 5 minutes. So either Ruben gets it together, or he'll have to sustain himself against many more attacks to come, and that is tough, especially on a confidence track. I mean, exactly the mistakes that get Collie alongside are what we keep talking about as a confidence track, but I mean, it doesn't seem too impacted, and especially Collie. They're both really running the edge of the track in every corner I can see. And that is probably why they got alongside each other so often.
All over the curves in the Astro, but that's what we've got to do. They have Renault getting out of the way nicely, so these two can keep at it. This will update, meanwhile, for the top. Sam, I think he must have made a little mistake, and Diakovsky closed in nicely, but that's strung back out again. As, yeah, Collie's having another look at Ruben.
Oh. He is, just as I get my camera away. Maybe I can force the overtakes by just not looking for a second, but so far it's not an overtake. Collie having to run the long way. Ruben really knows how to place his car and not, you know, make it easy for Jack. But maybe on the inside, no. I mean, Ruben has pulled this move himself. He probably knows that that could always be coming. He's done it to Varaniole very early on today. Varaniole, by the way, in the meantime has dropped to P9, so I guess the consistency wasn't really there. Now, Collie in the slipstream, but Ruben on the inside, so that one is covered as well. I just hope that no one here, you know, loses their minds, and I hope they don't run into each other, because they run super close now, and that is for good reason. If Collie, you know, if Collie is scared of driving close to Ruben, then he might as well give up the trying to overtake.
Yeah, Collie's looking really aggressive right now. He's definitely fast, and that McLaren, it's a really good package for high downforce. So you would have seen just now in the middle sector, he properly sensed on the brakes as he tries to kind of push Ruben off, playing the little mind games, you know, showing his nose, having a little half dive. But yeah, Ruben standing strong for now. Another fight that is not far from kind of coming to blows is between Lors and Muller. That's about P7. They are still within, you know, half a second of each other, but nothing really happening. I think they are quite a similar fight to Ruben and Collie, both relatively equal on pace, but can't seem to really make headway for either of them.
Yeah, those are the mentally straining moments in racing where you know you shouldn't lose the position. Like, you should be fine, but just that one misstep and you lose it. And right now it looks like it actually looks like Collie has made a mistake, because the gap is up to a second. So probably something happened there, which gives me an opportunity to look at the other two. The DRS car getting out of the way nicely there, and Ben Lewis is trying to get that place, but it is looking rough. The Nexus, to be fair, I think is pretty good on this straight, so maybe if you can follow really closely through a corner, you can slipstream, but it's still bounce hatch.
Yeah, it's definitely got the pace advantage in the straight line. But, yeah, the Aston is strong around here, so yeah, Miller is holding his own quite nicely. He's a bit quicker actually that lap on the times, but he's might have to defend here from Lors. Lors having a little look, but nothing quite doing.
Yeah,
But
you could really see there how Lewis was thinking about it. You saw that he got a slightly better run, and then I think he even tried to send it, but at a reasonable point, and then the braking of Müller was just on point, so nothing, you know, he can't do anything there. Well, maybe now?
Yeah, sorry, I was going to say, he's got another good run. Clutch back into the slipstream, but he's going to have to be bold if he wants to make a move.
Oh, but he gets alongside, maybe with the overlap. Does Müller give him the room? He certainly does, and now on the apex, the nose is ahead for Lewis, and then he doesn't run deep into the corner at all and just gives it up again. So I think not brave enough there, actually. He had the position, but he just needed to carry more speed out of the corner, and was kind of scared to run Müller off the road, which I respect, but it's not going to gain you a place.
Yeah, I think they got very close to contact actually just after the apex, which I think is why Lewis kind of backed out, gave him a bit more space. But yeah, I'm sure he's looking to go again, starting up out of the last corner. The gaps are looking pretty similar to last lap actually. Not, you know, he's there but not there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. For sure. Wait. Something. Oh no! We cut right to carnage as Ruben and Jack have well, killed each other, sort of. We're gonna look at the replay right away because I think that was coming for a while. So something happened. Ruben was really, or Collie was really close to Ruben again. Then Collie runs the entire start finish straight on the outside, which is of course long. I don't need to explain that to anyone. And then he gets a brilliant cutback. That is the opportunity. It is do or die for him, or at least that's what he seems to think. Sticks his nose in and just punts Ruben around, and I'm pretty sure that's gonna end up being a penalty. So that is actually, I mean, that isn't too big of a loss for Ruben if he manages to sustain the damage and likely loss of tire pressure he has sustained in this. And now we've got a four-way fight. Collie probably picking up a penalty there, though.
Yeah, that's probably spiced things up. That's kind of what I was about, you know, earlier, that you have to make sure you don't get desperate like that. And, you know, once he had committed, there's no backing out, especially in the McLaren. That car really kind of straightens out on the brakes. Yeah, it's behind. Was having a look on Miller, but he's going to have to try and get the cutback maybe. Size him up for the main straight.
Yeah, Ben is going to likely get a better run. Oh no, and then he bins it by putting two wheels on the grass. He was going to get a better run because he didn't allow Martin to run the full width on entry there. But it was all for nothing because he dipped off track. And also up front, Diakowski is super close to Chumley now, so I think Sam is just falling off later into this race. He probably has to settle for second, and if he isn't careful, then he could just give Diakowski his, I think, best result so far.
Yeah, so I'm about to point that out actually. I've been watching that gap. It's come down relatively slowly actually. But yeah, Diakowski 3.5 tenths out of the gap, so he's closed in. I wonder if Sam, by pitting that much earlier, he's just kind of killed the tyres.
It is certainly possible. Wait, let me...
I mean, it's not the easiest track around here to tyre save. Of course, you are constantly on edge. But that is bringing Higgins back into the fight, who of course he did pit a lot later, so he's got the fresh rubber. So yeah, if those two do fight in the next 8 minutes, that could bring the Dynaco Mercedes into play.
Yeah, it's a bit of a long shot for him, but nothing is impossible, especially, I mean, we've just seen why between Collie and Ruben. Running in the same formation they were in before now, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, I think Müller and Lewis both gain a place there. I think that's a 5-second time penalty, and but good on Collie for giving the place back, actually. Now he just, can't do it again. He's really close once more.
Yeah, I think that's going to knock his confidence, like he's not going to want to make a dive bomb again into turn 2 and make the same error, so that's going to play on his mind. But yeah, he's still looking fast. He's just got to stay, subdued enough to not make any contacts with his rival.
Shout out to Welsh Toast for, putting together one most brilliant movie poster. It's to his movie night, and the featured film is Sam Chumley versus Silver Class. So just wanted to give a shout out. That is basically what we were watching earlier, and it has been a story this season, especially at Hungary. But today is probably getting P2 out of this, which isn't too bad. And now Collie again with the better run, but this is again not an overtaking zone. So yeah, what are we doing? I don't know, and Collie doesn't seem to know either.
Yeah, we're just kind of flying in formation right now. Nothing quite happening yet, but Diakowski versus Sam back at the front, they are a lot closer. Gap's probably around 2 tenths right now, I imagine. Joe, all the actions kind of coming at once. Had not much for a while, but yeah, Muller looking on the back of Collie now. He's kind of fallen off the back of the Honda. See what he can do. Not much in turn 1, but a little wide from Collie maybe. Nah, he's managed to tidy it back up again.
Oh, Lewis is actually on the inside and he does his best. Oh no, he does his best Collie cosplay and might pick himself up a penalty as well. I mean, he stays ahead there, but I mean, that's fair enough. As FIA, I think the policy is still don't give places back. Let the FIA deal with it, and I'm pretty sure they will in this case. So, I mean, yeah, the desperation has come through for 2 of those drivers now, Jack and Ben, both BVDL boys, by the way, and they have both committed their fair share of crimes now, and probably 5-second penalty coming in this case as well, as he takes the position by pushing Martin Müller out of the way.
Similar to the Ruben Collie incident, actually, as also I think Vergnolo has retired now. I'm just looking at the replay.
Yes.
He made a mistake, and then I'm just watching. He was side by side with Bailey, and yeah, lost that fight, and then turned to the pit lane to end his day.
Yeah, which of course at least gets Oliver into the top 10. And Sam seems to be struggling so much right now. And also, I mean, the thing is, it's not just that if you pit early you get more tire wear. You also, of course, collect more of those off-track moments where your tire pressures fall off. And now we've lost Noppen again, who has binned it out of Sheen into Sterling's. But yeah, so that could also be a factor for Sam. I wouldn't be surprised if his pressures are completely wrong, and that also robs you of all confidence, of course. So that is likely one of the factors contributing to Diakowski being as close as he is, and he's absolutely pushing the limit, trying to get past our 2-time champion here and put himself one step further up the finishing order and the podium as well.
Yeah, it's been pretty high attrition rate, actually. A lot of spins off tracks, all that kind of thing. Which, you know, it's so easy to run into. It's a very, very, very punishing circuit, and of course, it's punishing will to will if you make a mistake. Yeah, right now though, Collie's still all over the back of Ruben. He's still going to be trying to make a move despite his error earlier. It's right on the back as we have run into the last corner.
Actually, I've just checked back, but this would be Diakowski's first podium if I'm not blind. But he hasn't gotten a podium. I swear he had a 3rd place, but apparently he hasn't. So this would be his first podium, and if he can make it, to P2, it would be extra special, I guess. I mean, plenty drivers have had P3s every now and then, but P2 is, of course, a whole lot harder to get, especially if the guy you have to fight for it is Sam Chumley, and if the track you have to make the overtake on is Brands Hatch. He's got 3 minutes to go, which I guess equates to 3 laps. So, yeah, bring it on. No, wait, it doesn't. I'm done. It's 2 and the rest of this. We got there in the end.
Yeah, it's been a quietly good race for Diakowski again. He showed his hand in the last few rounds, and he's definitely got the pace. He's looking past that Lexus, and of course, challenging our reigning champion. So that's always a nice accolade to have. He has a go at sizing him up into the first corner. I haven't run down the main straight, but yeah, I don't think anything's gonna quite go for him here. He's gonna have to make a big lunge. Sam goes wide. This might be his time.
Oh, this could be it. And now he pins the throttle down to the floor. Sam late on the switch to the inside, and Diakowski unfortunately goes deep. Can't make that one happen. I hope we could get a long side-by-side fight, but Sam, I mean, you know, he knew what was coming, and he just instantly covered the inside. You can't even complain about blocking or anything. It wasn't like in reaction to any move. He anticipated that there was gonna be a lunge and just preempted it very well. So that was well done from him after making the mistake. So gets away with it, but he can't afford to make the same mistake again. Maybe Diakowski will be able to, you know, evaluate the braking zone better. Also, I think the stream quality is dying. My internet might be going downhill. I don't know what's going on, but like I'm getting a warning from YouTube. Maybe someone can confirm if everything is fine. It looks a little choppy, but probably okay. Only got 1 lap to go, so you know, I'm not gonna worry about it now.
Yeah, last lap now, so it's gonna be the last chance.
Oh, and yeah, last lap doesn't mean that Ben is taking it easy. He goes fully off track and cheating.
Yep, yeah, no, Diakovsky, this is probably his last chance on Sam, but no, too far back. He would have struggled to go around the outside even if he did calculate that right last time around, but he's pushing Sam through the hairpin. It's going to be difficult those two to make any move. Oh, Ollie, by the way, right on the back of Ruben. Is he going to lunge down the inside? He is!
Oh, not again!
Ruben shutting the door.
Oh, not again! Oh, Mark, stop it! Stop it! Okay, they have stopped it. Ruben has been nudged a fair few times this race, and it's all kind of pointless because I'm pretty sure there's a penalty coming. So please don't kill Ruben. Don't cost him the position. Thank you.
Oh
no!
We need to find him.
Oh no! Are you kidding me? On the last lap, we've got some last drama. I'm actually just jumping for an instant replay so we can see what happened and then. Go for the, watch the race finish. Hope I'm not missing anything while we're in this replay, but, so he's way back and then he decides to just lunge and lets go of the brakes and, oh no, Jack.
Yeah, whilst you are there, Velben taking the flag. That is his, I believe, second win of the season.
It is, yeah, after Kalami, and, very well done to him. Congratulations, and then we've got, and also another win at the British GT track. And then we've got Chumley, who comes across second, which is very good for his championship, especially considering where Ruben finished. Diakovsky third, picks up his first podium. Really well done from him. Probably helped by the fact that Sam didn't look too comfortable in the late stages of this. Then we've got Higgins. I mean, the 4th place is probably all you can ask for at Brands Hatch if you don't qualify right at the sharp end. And he's done well this time, and it's time for me to stop mentioning Bathurst, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Ben Lewis finishes 5th. Probably is getting a penalty, though. Then Martin Müller in P6, probably profiting off of that penalty. He was hard to overtake and forced a mistake there. Then Jack Colley, he has some sins to take responsibility for. Then Ruben, our championship leader, who loses a lot of ground in the battle as he finishes P8, and he's so far back from the others. I think he might have actually lost a few places and a lot of points in, in the end there. And the rest of the grid, I didn't even get to them because I was being too slow. But I think Oosterholm actually wins silver class. So I'm actually going to confirm that quickly before I'm talking crap.
Yeah, I believe he was followed by Kruger for the...
Yeah, that's what I think, but I'm gonna confirm it first. So, yeah, Oosterholm, then Krüger, then Savitskas, who aggressively weaved past the line, probably wasn't happy after the damage he has gotten. And then it's Nobild getting rewarded with a nice points haul in 4th, Renault is 5th, and then we've got Malton as the last finisher in P6 for silver class. So, that's... yeah, that's the finishing order there, and also in Pro we haven't mentioned them. Bailey and Antoine finished 9th and 10th, and the Lamborghinis respectively, so Lambo didn't seem... Well, they didn't seem like they were able to make the Lambo work today.
Yeah, they were... I mean, yeah, Bailey had a very nice race actually today. He managed to gap Antoine quite nicely in that sister Lamborghini. But yeah, another good race, of course. Shout out to Nico at the top, who I guess he kind of had a relatively quiet round this time. But yeah, I don't think Ruben is going to be a very happy man after that race. I think, I would imagine he will not be the one on the receiving end of any penalties. That will be on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's of course trying to drive quite aggressively because he's got, in his mind, he's got bigger things to deal with than a fight for P6. He wants those points, whilst Collie wants everything he can get. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if a bit of frustration from his side didn't help, especially on that last lap. Of course, got it maybe a little too fine for the defense, but yeah, either way, I think Holly may have been to blame, so that might promote Ruben up, I believe, a place.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I would assume. Like personally, from my view, of course, take it with a grain of salt because you know it's I've seen it once and I'm a commentator and I haven't analyzed anything. So I think both of them were kind of more on Colley's end. So if they were both 5-second time penalties, then Ruben would still get the position, but it's not what he wants out of this. And in the championship, this heavily swings the balance. Well, last race was kind of irrelevant at Bathurst because it was won by Cubs and Bailey. So and they're basically nowhere really. So